This is Hot Fire Gospel Channel. Welcome back to another video.
Sex in the dream is not what reduces a man in the rankings of authority. Rather, sex in the dream is what weakens a man spiritually. Yeah, anytime somebody is having sex in the dream with you, it's weakening your spirituality. It's weakening your faith. That spirit is aiming at weakening your prayer life. Don't allow any spirit reduce your office. Don't allow any sin reduce your office. Don't lose your ability in the realms. Don't lose your authority in the realms. So when we speak of authority, we speak of when you say, "This be," and it happens. Fornication will cause you to lose that authority. When you speak, it's as though a mere man, an empty man has just spoken. So that's the ministry of fornication or adultery. And that's why the Bible tells us to kill it first. If you look at Galatians, the first work of the flesh, as mentioned, was adultery and fornication. This include all sexual immorality, both single or married or divorced. Then Colossians 3 verse 5 spoke about mortifying your members which are upon the earth. The word mortify is to kill. The first sin as mentioned there was what? Fornication. Because these are demons. As kings, these are the things that reduce us. They paralyze our capacity to speak and pass decrees with potency and abilities in the realms. It's not about going to hell or being condemned or I'm not feeling well. No, it's about authority, a power. Somebody asked and said, how about in the dream? Sex in the dream. Sex in the dream is not what reduces a man in the rankings of authority. Rather, sex in the dream is what weakens a man spiritually. Yeah, anytime somebody is having sex in the dream with you, he's weakening your spirituality. He's weakening your faith. That spirit is aiming at weakening your prayer life. It's to lure you into sinful life. Sex in the dream is a spiritual attack that aims at bringing frustration. If you're married, first thing it does is to destroy your connection with your husband or your wife. It's an attack on your marriage. It's an attack on your dreams and endeavors or projects. If you have some kind of endeavor that you are trusting to actualize, or you are venturing into anything that is significant, or you are about to get into something successful, you are close to a success, that spirit will strike with sex in the dream. It's a spirit that hijacks your fortunes. I don't have sex in the dream. Never happened. Impossible. The moment you have that experience, they've actually taken almost 70% of that virtue of fortune in that moment. They have already. Unfortunately, they have. But what you're gonna do at that point in time is to go fasting immediately. And probably if you're connected to us, go into 45 IT, do it for 3 days, 12 a.m. to 1 a.m. for 3 days with fasting. You will reclaim that fortune instantly. And then if you often have sex in the dream, please come for deliverance. There is an entanglement. There is a legal grounds. You are married. They have you. They have your soul. Remember, when you got born again, your soul didn't get born again. Receive with meekness the engrafted word, which is able to save your soul. Soul is not saved. The Bible says, receiving the end of your faith. Receiving the end of your faith, the salvation of your soul. So Satan can grab a certain portion of your soul to manipulate. Ancestral curses are still real in the soul. They run in the vein, in the bloodline, and that's where the soul is, in the loins. So if you don't have sex in the physical, or no one is trying to seduce you in the physical, in the dream, that's against your will. So that does not count as immorality. You were not held sinful for sex in the dream, no, because that's not your will. That's a witchcraft. That's demonic legal influence on your soul. So you need to now know why and what are the reasons, what are the significance of sex in the dream, what are the disadvantages, what does that mean in the spirit, with spiritual understanding. That's all I've said. They hijack fortunes. And if you have sex in the dream, I would rather say don't engage in anything business that moment. Don't sign, don't do nothing, just stay indoors that day, because anything you're going to do will result into failure or problem, because the day has already been hijacked. It's more or less like you are coming out that day to face a misfortune. Yes, especially that day. Be very that day, that particular day. Just pray, stay indoors, pray until you prevail in the realms.